Golf Central on YouTube, brought to you by the Rogue ST Woods and Irons from Callaway.
Well, we start this day with some news. 2 weeks to go until the start of the playoffs, and today the PGA Tour announced the creation of a secondary points list, which will remove all suspended players from the FedExCup standings. Commissioner Jay Monahan says the new list will ensure that suspended members don't negatively impact other players, tournament eligibility, positioning on the priority rankings, or eligibility to compete in the FedExCup playoffs. Here's an overview of the changes, which was approved by the policy board. Players who participated in LIV Golf events will not be eligible to compete in this year's FedExCup playoffs and will not be included in the new eligibility points list. As we thought, those suspended players will also not be eligible for this year's President's Cup. The suspended players, however, will still be awarded bonus money based on their final position on the official FedEx Cup points list. So, not sure there's anything terribly surprising there, but now it is codified and official. And with that, we welcome you to Golf Central. Jimmy Roberts here, and we say hello to Rex Hoggard, who has all of the details. Rex?
Jimmy, I think you're absolutely right. This didn't come as a surprise to anyone. This has been kind of the idea that the tour has been kicking around really the last few weeks, would essentially treat these players who have been indefinitely suspended for playing those LIV Golf events like an amateur who makes the cut in a PGA Tour event. The amateur still gets to play the final 2 rounds on the weekend, but when it comes to the prize breakdown, they're pretty much excluded from the field and the prize money is given to the professionals. Now, this addresses 2 central concepts is what they're talking about here because of the list. This allows a player like, and Taylor Gooch is probably the best example. He's 20th right now on the FedEx Cup points list, to be able to use those points that he earned before he was suspended by the PGA Tour to apply to whatever his bonus is going to be at the end of the year. Now, keep in mind, he's going to drop dramatically over not just the next 2 weeks, but in the playoffs when the points get magnified and things jump around much, much quicker. But you get an idea of exactly what the tour was trying to deal with here. They were up against what was essentially going to be a legal issue if they didn't make room for these players. And this goes beyond the top 125. That's going to be what we focus on because the playoffs are coming up in 2 weeks. However, there's kind of in the fabric of the PGA Tour when you look at these points lists. I had a player text me this morning who was just outside the top 200 asking how this was going to impact him. If you finish inside the top 200, you get an exemption into the Korn Ferry Tour Finals to try to re-earn your PGA Tour card. So, Jimmy, you get an idea of how sweeping this decision was.
All right, so all the pieces are starting to fall into place as we thought they might, but what's next?
What's next will be interesting because we've kind of heard rumors over the last few weeks that some of those players, and right now there are 8 players who were suspended by the PGA Tour and maintain their tour status. Now, there were some others who were also suspended by the PGA Tour, but they resigned their tour membership. These players, I've been told, are considering doing some sort of legal challenge that would be similar to what happened earlier this month when a British court granted, which was essentially a stay or an injunction against the DP World Tour that allowed them to compete in the Scottish Open. And that was a co-sanctioned event between the DP World Tour and the PGA Tour. The idea is that these players are going to push for the same thing. It remains to be seen, and it would have to happen quickly over the next 2 weeks before the playoffs start. But this move by the PGA Tour, by separating the 2 lists, at least gives them some flexibility if there is that challenge and we do end up with those players in the field during the playoffs.
From the course to the courts, here we go. Rex, thanks so much. And as you mentioned, there are currently 8 players who have competed in LIV Golf events and are still ranked inside the top 125 of the FedEx Cup standings. Here they are. You mentioned Taylor Gooch, Matt Jones, Hudson Swafford, Matthew Wolff, Abraham Ancer, Carlos Ortiz, Brooks Koepka, and Pat Perez. There are 3 additional players in the top 135 who are scheduled to be in the field in the upcoming LIV Golf event this week, which would make them ineligible for the FedEx Cup playoffs as well. Those players, Jason Kokrak, Charles Howell III, and Paul Casey. Not listed are those players who resigned their memberships. Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau, Kevin Na among them. That group lists a total of 11 players, all of them who had been previously removed from any eligibility. Well, for some more perspective on today's news, we head out to Detroit, where George Savarikis is on the ground at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Hi, George.
Hey, Jimmy, and this just another ripple effect since the launch of the LIV Golf series a month ago, creating chaos within not just the world of golf, but how the PGA Tour is going to handle things going forward. You heard Rex touch on the two different lists that they're going to have. That was certainly the talk of players here on the practice putting green and the range at Detroit Golf Club. Just how deep is that going to go once the guys hit shots this week in the LIV event? Is that immediately going to jump then from 8 to 11 like we're all anticipating? So in chatting with the guys, it was getting their reaction to the news and whether this was the right move by the PGA Tour.
I think it's some good news to wake up to, knowing that I'm moving up a few more spots in the FedEx. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want to really finish 125 on that list. I'd like to, finish 125 or higher on the normal FedEx list. I don't want some other guys going to play a different tour to really affect me that much. So I'd like to just take care of it myself, but it is some good news, and it's nice to wake up to.
I guess independent of your current situation, because with the shift, you're considered one of the bubble guys. Do you think it was the right move by the PGA Tour to create this secondary points list? I
think they had to, yeah. I think everyone was kind of asking the questions and wondering who was coming off, when they were coming off, and whatnot. So I think it was the right move, and hopefully after this week I'm not a bubble boy anymore, but we'll see.
I'm not sure what's right or wrong anymore in the world of golf, but I think it's just to follow through on what the tour said a few weeks back they were going to do and ensure guys that the people that left didn't affect their position. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm not sure yet. I just kind of heard it was official and hadn't put much thought to it. But, anybody in the position I'm in wants to play better. But at the same time, it's nice to know that the tour followed through with what they said about a month ago.
I think everybody kind of knew this was coming. It's nice to see the points list. I still got some work to do, I think, with the points list that moves me to 122. So, if the season were to end today, I'd be in good shape. But there's still a couple tournaments left, so I got to keep doing what I'm doing. I have some momentum, which is great, and I love this place. I love this golf course and this tournament. They do such a great job here, and obviously got a great field this week. So I'm looking forward to it.
Was this the proper decision by the PGA Tour?
Sure, yeah. I think so. I mean, this is what Jay and the tour has said from kind of day one. Kudos to him for sticking to it, and obviously it rewards somebody like me who's, I'm still on the PGA Tour, and it's given me even more of a chance to keep my card. Just because I played so poorly the first 20 tournaments of the year. I've put myself in a position to really, finish off the season strong.
Also chatted with Ricky Fowler off camera. He shared the same sentiments as the guys that I just spoke with. And their overarching theme, Jimmy, pretty simple. It all boils down to them saying, I just need to play better, regardless of where the secondary list is.